Drafting an ironclad employment contract with a strict global non-compete clause to lock down your new Nordic regional director feels like standard corporate intellectual property protection, until that same executive abruptly resigns, walks straight into the headquarters of your biggest local rival, and the Norwegian courts legally invalidate your entire contract, exposing your most guarded corporate secrets while leaving your foreign parent company completely defenseless. Welcome to Norway Perspectives. I am Erik Christensen from the NLS Norway Relocation Group, and today we are exposing the devastating corporate non-compete trap governed by Chapter 15A of the fiercely protective Norwegian Working Environment Act, and why importing a standard global lockout agreement into the Nordics will instantly trigger a catastrophic loss of your most valuable corporate data and executive talent. For highly successful corporate directors and foreign human resource departments operating in fiercely competitive jurisdictions like the United States, the United Kingdom, or Asian tech hubs, a non-compete agreement is a fundamental, almost universally applied legal padlock. When you hire a senior executive who will have direct access to your global client list, pricing algorithms, and strategic expansion plans, you routinely force them to sign a contract stating that they cannot work for a direct competitor for 12 to 24 months after they leave the company. You naturally assume that if they quit, that piece of paper will legally freeze their career and protect your market share without costing you a single penny. Norway operates under a drastically different, heavily regulated legal framework that considers the restrictions of an individual's right to seek employment to be a severe infringement on their fundamental human rights. The massive legal and financial trap triggers violently because the Norwegian government aggressively despises standard non-compete clauses, known locally in Norwegian as Konkurranseklausul. Under strict Norwegian labor law, you cannot simply block an executive from working for a rival just because they know your business strategy. The devastating reality hits foreign employers the moment they attempt to legally enforce the restriction. In Norway, if you want to legally stop an executive from working for a competitor, you must physically purchase their absence. You are legally mandated to pay the former employee 100% of their standard executive salary for the entire duration of the non-compete period, up to a massive statutory cap of 8 times the national insurance basic amount, 8G, which currently equates to nearly 1 million kroner. Even for income exceeding that cap, you are forced to pay at least 70% of the remaining salary. If your international headquarters refuses to pay this massive executive salary to a person who is literally sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing, the non-compete clause instantly vaporizes, and they are free to join your competitor the very next morning. The nightmare escalates into an absolute corporate compliance catastrophe due to the ruthlessly strict administrative timeline, known in Norwegian as the Redegjørelse, or the written justification. Even if your foreign board of directors is perfectly willing to pay the massive compensation to keep the executive benched, the legal clock is unforgiving. From the exact moment the employee hands in the resignation, the corporate employer has exactly 4 weeks to deliver a highly detailed, legally customized written statement, explicitly detailing exactly why the non-compete is strictly necessary to protect the company's specific competitive advantages. You cannot use a generic corporate template. If your global HR department misses this 4-week deadline by even 1 single day, or if the justification is deemed too vague by a Norwegian labour court, the entire clause is rendered legally void. Furthermore, foreign parent companies are routinely blindsided by the devastating downsizing loophole. If your global headquarters decides to restructure the Nordic division and you terminate the executive due to redundancy or corporate downsizing, Norwegian law dictates that any existing non-compete clause is immediately and permanently cancelled. You cannot fire a Nordic executive to save money and simultaneously restrict their future employment. They can take their Norwegian severance package, walk directly across the street and immediately begin weaponizing your internal corporate strategies against you for a rival firm. Foreign employers also fail to distinguish between Konkurranseklausul in Norwegian, so blocking them from a competitor, and a kundeklausul, blocking them from poaching your specific clients. In international contracts, these concepts are often lazily blurred together in one massive paragraph. In Norway, they are strictly separated by law. A customer clause can only restrict an executive from contacting clients that had active, documented responsibilities during their final 12 months of employment. You cannot ban them from your entire global database. Navigating this hyper-complex, fiercely regulated intersection of international intellectual property protection and strict Nordic labor compliance requires absolute strategic dominance and also flawless contract engineering long before an executive ever signs an offer letter. At NLS Norway Relocation Group, we ensure your global corporate expansion is never hijacked by a mismanaged executive exit. We handle your entire human resource and compliance transition to our highly exclusive, trusted network of elite Norwegian employment attorneys, corporate litigators, and HR strategists. We rigorously audit your global employment contracts to completely rewrite your non-compete and non-solicitation clauses, ensuring they are perfectly calibrated to Norwegian statutory law. We expertly guide your foreign HR teams to the highly treacherous Redegjørelse, Norwegian Redegjørelse justification process, accurately forecast your post-employment compensation liabilities, and build an impenetrable legal fortress around your Nordic Norwegian client list and corporate secrets. Do not let a misunderstood non-compete regulation trigger a catastrophic data hemorrhage that destroys your international market share. Protect your corporate IP and ensure your corporate transition into the Nordic is an absolute legal triumph by visiting our website at nlsnorwayrelocation.no, nlsnorwayrelocation.no, to book a comprehensive strategy session today, and I will see you in the next episode.